Yo, what's good, guys? All right, this is day 11 of Path to Profitability Bootcamp, where I teach you guys everything that I know in my head about day trading, um, so you guys can become profitable too. All right, so as you can see, you guys have no homework, but what we're going to be doing is talking about take profits and stop losses, where you should put them, where you should target, risk to reward, and all that stuff. All right. So let's just talk about risk to reward right now, okay? So with my strategy that I'm going to be teaching you guys after we get through all the concepts, the risk to reward for that is usually about a 1-to-1, maybe 1-to-2 RR per trade. Meaning if you risk $100 and it's a 1-to-1, you risk $100 to make $100, right? Or if it's a 1-to-2, you risk $100 to make $200, 1-to-3, $300. You get the point, right? But why do we have a stop loss, right? You're probably like, oh, well, I just want to have a stop loss, and then, it'll go back up eventually, right? Or it'll go in my direction eventually. Well, I'm guessing that you don't have a lot of money, just like I do, right? I don't have a lot of money. So what I do is I trade with these prop firms, right? That give me, certain amounts of money to trade with, right? Instead of trading on my own with like $100, I'm not going to be able to make as much, right? Um, versus having the leverage with the prop firms, I'll be able to make so much more. However, in the prop firms, there's these things called drawdown and loss limits. All right, so we'll get into all prop firms and stuff, but this is just a little taste. You can't go below a certain point to draw down or lose a lot of money, right? Or else they're going to liquidate you from your account, and then you'll lose, the money or whatever that you put into the account. All right, so it is very important to have a stop loss because most people, they have an ego when it comes to trading. And if you have an ego, right, leave it at the door. You don't need this ego for trading because it'll only hurt your ability actually to take good trades and to, take the education and awareness and have that awareness to, process a bad losing trade that you have, right? So for your take profit and stop loss, right, there's two ways that you can predict the market to go: a long or a short position. Okay? So for longs, that's meaning you want the market to go up. For shorts, market to go down, okay? And vice versa. So where would your take profit be? Okay, as you can see, there's two different shades of colors here, right? There's the gray and then there's the blue. The gray is going to be where your stop loss is and where your drawdown is, okay? And the blue is going to be where your profit is and where your take profit will be, okay? So this little indentation right here, this little area, that line, that's going to be your entry. That's where you enter a trade, and then that's where you ultimately, if price goes above this line, and let's say you're in a short, right? Let me just label these real quick. Short equals down, and then we got a long equals up, okay, just to keep it pretty simple. If this comes above this entry level, you will be in drawdown, meaning you will be in negative dollars. You'll be losing money, all right? And if it comes down here, you'll be in profit, meaning you'll be gaining money from your original position, all right? Same thing. If you buy a stock at one point and it goes up, you're gaining money. And if it doesn't go up, you lose money, right? Just think of it like that. Same thing for the long, right? Where's your stop loss going to be, or your drawdown, right? Entries here. All right, your take profit is going to be in the blue, and it's going to be at the maximum point, right? The maximum point here. That's your take profit. Then this, the maximum point of the gray, is going to be your stop loss, meaning if price comes here, you'll automatically exit the trade, right? Further preventing any more loss for the day, right? So let's say, I get stopped out on this trade, right? And let's say it goes, Actually, let me draw this. Let's say I get stopped out on this trade, right? And then it goes higher, right? You would have prevented so much more of a loss because you took this loss right here. You're probably like, well, cool, what if it goes back in my direction? Then it does. There's nothing to do about that, all right? That's an issue with technical analysis if that happens, okay? So that's, a long and a short, buys and then sells, okay? Longs, you're going to be looking for the market to go higher, bullish. Shorts, you're going to be looking for the market to go lower, bearish, okay? Take profit means you are gaining money. Stop loss means you are automatically losing money. You're getting liquidated, all right? You're losing however much you risk. So if I risk $100, I'll lose that $100. If I risk that $100 and I win, I'll make $100 if it's depends on the risk to reward ratio, right? These are just tools that you use, right? These little long positions to determine a lot of different things. They determine your target and the amount of ticks, right? The amount of ticks and the amount of points, as well as the risk to reward, as you can see right there, risk to reward ratio, 2.41, right? And this will ultimately help you calculate your position size, which we will also go over once we get most of the concepts down and then the strategy, right? So that you don't over risk or under risk on your overall trades. And I'll show you how I do that on prop firms. But this is pretty much it. Your stop loss is going to be, at the bottom when you're in a long position or at the top when you're in a short position, okay? Take profit will be vice versa, all right? So the ideal risk to reward for my setup is a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2 RR. RR equals 1-to-1 or 1-to-2. Okay? So that's pretty much it for today's bootcamp video of day 11. Just wrapping it up here, you guys. Yep, I know you saw this at the beginning. No homework. Enjoy the night off. I'm making this video pretty late. I did forget earlier, but I'm still here for you guys. I'm still staying on track. So, yeah, please enjoy this. Take some notes. You should be taking notes throughout this whole entire bootcamp. Because this is very, very important stuff if you actually want to level up your trading or if you're just a beginner trader, okay? That's it for today's video, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.